Yo, what is up? What's poppin'? You know it ain't no stopping. It is your boy, the International Sensei, back at it again. Hello, my friends, and we are finally here having some recaps of this weekend. Non-stop action for the UFC 249 card, and damn. Okay, wait, hold up. Before I even get started, uh, parental guy, whatever it is, parental advisory or whatever. I may curse a lot in this one, so I'm gonna be putting the explicit here to flash, like, just imagine flashing lights or whatever. So just like, so this is not one for kids. I may curse for at certain points in this, so please be wary of that. So kids, don't watch this. Parents, make sure your kids don't watch this episode. Most of them will be very friendly, but just in case I do curse, I'm just putting that out there just in case. But this card was freaking amazing. I mean, one of the most stacked cards you're probably ever gonna see. Probably one of the most stacked cards ever. I mean, non-stop action. Like, the preliminary card, for the most part, could have been a main card minus a title fight, and even the main preliminary fight had the potential to be a title fight at one point in time because Pettis did have the lightweight title at one point. But it was so good. I mean, of course, there were a couple of questionable decisions here or there, but I'm just gonna run down the list. I'm gonna touch on a couple of the fights, riff on a couple things here or there. But it was a damn good card, and I was so glad that I had a chance to watch it. And I'm gonna talk a little trash, but here we go. So the first one I want to talk about, go to Carla Esparza versus Michelle Waterson, the Karate Hottie. A very odd split decision. I thought Waterson took it. I mean, maybe that's just my fanboyness coming because I am a huge fan of Michelle Waterson. But the hottie did go down. I did see Chael Sonnen talking about that she might need to move up to 125, which could possibly help. I mean, there's been a lot of fighters. I know Michael Chiesa had some success moving up. There's been a good amount of fighters over the years that have had great success. Rumble Johnson, he was like having going on a tear in the light heavyweight division, and I still don't know how that dude was making like 185, 170. I don't know how he was doing it. But yeah, I mean, she's an extremely strong competitor, and I feel like she has a really strong shot to win the title, but maybe not at 115, maybe at 125. But it was a good fight nonetheless. Next one, Alexei Oleinik versus Fabricio Verdum. Oleinik surprised me. I mean, he was boxing him up, man. It was a really good fight. I mean, kind of went the way I expected. Didn't think the score should have been as close as it was, but I had Alexei Oleinik taking that. Anthony Pettis versus Donald Cerrone. Uh, uh I don't know, man. I don't know. That was a weird one. That was just, let me just say that was a weird one. Um, I mean, I'm glad Pettis got the W, but again, it's hard. Like, you can't leave it in the hands of the judges. That was a weird one. I mean, some people thought that Pettis won, some people thought that Cerrone won, but again, you have a lot of judges that good amount of judges that don't fight or have never fought, which I've always hated. So real quick to get off topic, um, like, I've dealt with like a lot of through like AAU and whatever organization, like the big governing bodies, a large majority of those people that are there don't fight and stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's the case for all the judges or for this particular fight where those judges fought or not. But there's a lot of people that referee and govern fights that don't fight or have never fought, which is a bit annoying. I know like Herb Dean has like experience with that. I know, of course, Big John. I think he was like a black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So you have a lot of guys like that, but there's certain ones that don't, and it kind of shows, which is like, which it sucks because I mean, like, there's certain things that you might look for if you had that experience versus things that you don't notice if you don't have the experience. You know what I mean? But hey, it's neither here nor there. But Anthony Pettis takes that victory, which is good because I believe his last fight was his loss to Nate Diaz, where I think he broke his foot in that fight. So it was good to see him back in the win column. I think, is this 3-fight losing streak for Tony, or is this? I mean, not for Tony, for Cerrone, because I know he lost to. I think he lost to Ferguson, he lost to Connor, and then now this one. So that might be a 3-fight losing streak. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I am not 100% sure. Next one is the big boy Greg Hardy versus Jorgen De Castro, and this was a funny ass fight, dude. Like literally, like he knocks Jorgen De Castro the hell down, and he's like, yo, he literally says, get him up, I want to fucking fight. I'm like, yo, I love Greg Hardy. He is hilarious. Like he was literally like you could hear every word he was saying, and I think that's what made this event so special in a lot of ways because it felt like you were back in the Tough House, like Tough season 1, where you hear the coaches, you hear every punch landing, you're hearing like the thud on people's gloves, and you don't have to, I guess, get swayed by the audience. You know what I mean? Like where there'll be a lot of times in boxing matches, kickboxing, taekwondo, whatever sport, and somebody will kick, and the kick might not even hit, but it looks like it hit, and you'll hear the oh, oh, oh. You'll hear people going crazy, and that can tend to sway judges and can tend to sway opinions and things like that for people, especially for people who don't have the eyes of a fighter and who don't look for certain things, who can't see certain things happening. You know what I mean? So it was a unique thing, and honestly, I liked it. I mean, I would, of course, I've never been to a UFC fight, and I would love to go to one. Um, and to, like just to be around that atmosphere. But it was a very unique experience, and I think it's a fine format to go for the near future. I mean, I wouldn't like it to stay like that permanently, obviously, but for the near future, it works, man. I mean, like I still get hype. I'm still getting ready to watch some awesome fights, and it just feels like the highest level of the Tough Show. Like, it literally feels like the Ultimate Fighter show at the absolute highest level. Like it's taking the toughest tournament in sports and putting it on the grand stage. It's taking away all the fluff. It's taking away all the extra bullshit that goes on in like the entertainment aspect of fighting, and it's just allowing fighters to do what they do, which is fight. I mean, obviously you could have like your music, you can have your entrances. I hope to see another lit Israel Adesanya entrance, you know what I mean, where he does some fly shit, but it takes away a lot of the fluff. It takes a lot of the nonsense out. Like it takes the fickle fans out and the booing and cheering, and how people can always like change their opinion so quickly. If a fight like Daniel Cormier versus Anderson Silva happens, and Daniel does what he has to do, which is hold him down, because why in his right mind would he be trying to kickbox with the arguably one of the world's greatest strikers? I mean, if not the world's greatest striker to ever do it. I mean, Anderson Silva's an assassin. If he stands up, DC loses that title. I'm sorry. Like if you stands up to fight Anderson Silva, you're getting your ass kicked. Like most people in this world are gonna get their asses handed to them. There's very few people, even an old Anderson, like his eyes are still so good. His flexibility is still so good. His hands are still really fast. So you're gonna get your ass kicked. And I like the fact that it takes away that aspect of the fans, because sometimes even a referee can get swayed by the fans if a person like a Kamaru Usman's on top of somebody, grinding it out, landing his elbows, and a referee that's not too familiar with grappling or hasn't grappled for a long time is standing them up because either one, the crowd is booing, or two, because he feels like grappling is quote unquote not fighting or whatever. So I liked how, I don't know, I just enjoyed how the fight went. It was really good. It was really good, man. We have Kelvin Cutter versus Jeremy Stevens. Um, that was Cutter took that victory by TKO in the second round. Really exciting fight. Jeremy Stevens missed weight, almost 5 pounds, which was kind of crazy. Everyone else made weight. I mean, it's like, and he trains with Dominic Cruz, which is like a shocker because Dominic Cruz is always like super duper fit. So that was kind of shocking to see how he missed weight so much. Oh, also, Jacare Souza's fight got canceled because he did test positive for the Big C. I'm not gonna say it on here, but you know, the Big C got the boy Jacare. I really hope he feels better. Prayers out to him, his coaches, his family, and all of that. Was really sad that I did not get to see Uriah Hall in action. Because I think his last loss was it Paulo Costa? I believe his last loss was. So I was really excited to see him come in the ring because he has like a really cool style. I like He has like a Taekwondo background. He fought in the World Combat League. He fought in the Ultimate Fighter. Got second place there. So he has a very very large amount of experience, and I love watching him fight anytime he gets in the ring. Now, Francis Ngannou versus Rozenstruik. Bro, I was so fucking mad. So when I tell you, I was in my room. I was in my room just chilling up, vibing, enjoying some snacks and things like that, going through the fights, and I randomly decide, you know what? They're doing the intros. Let me go get some more chips or whatever whatever the hell I was gonna eat. Get some more chips, and I'll be back in time for I might miss the first couple seconds of the first round, but I'll be back in time to not miss nothing too crazy. I'm pouring my chips, and all I hear is, "Hey, it is all over!" And I was like, shit! I wasn't even gone long. I was gone for, I kid you not. I left during the intros. I was on my way back as the fight was starting. I was in the kitchen, mind you, as the fight was starting, so I was just walking back, and all I hear is, "And it is all over, the knockout!" I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Are you kidding me? Come on, Francis. You know what? So that is a note to anyone. If you are watching a Francis Ngannou fight, stay your ass in your seat. Don't go get shit. Don't go get nothing, because this man has the freaking mind eraser in both hands, and he will knock guys out with freaking one touch. So keep that in mind. Do not stray far when a Francis Ngannou fight comes on, because I left for I left for 20 seconds and it was over. The intros were going on. I was coming back and it was over. I was like, man, damn, I was pissed. But I mean, hey, look, it's only 20 seconds, so it's a very easy replay to watch back. So hey, it happens though. But and then you had back-to-back title fights. You had Triple C, bend the knee to Triple C, versus Dominic Cruz. And honestly, it looked like Henry seriously had him scouted. One of the main things with Dominic is his mobility. I mean, he moves in a very strange ways. He has that weird movement. He dips in and out very, very quick. But Henry seemed like he was beating him to the punch every single time. He was throwing those heavy, heavy leg kicks to the point where Dominic wasn't even checking them. He was trying to hop over them at certain points. And he was just chopping him down, and then got that great knee in the second round to knock him down, and then just started swarming him with punches and bunches nonstop, and the referee stopped the fight. Look, I get what Dominic was saying after the round. After the stoppage. It was look, I was getting up, this, and that, but dude, you just got cracked by a knee. And at the end of the day, people give referees all the shit in the world. Refereeing is a hard ass job, okay? I've ref taekwondo, I've ref amateur boxing on the amateur level, of course. I want to get more reps in it. But I've refed amateur boxing, I've refed amateur kickboxing, things like that. And it is fucking hard, okay? Even if you have the experience, even if you understand the game, there's always going to be little things you might miss or little things you might not catch. As great as Big John McCarthy is, he's gonna make a mistake every now and then. You can't fault the person for making a mistake. They're human. But he made the absolute best possible call he could have made in that particular situation. He had 2 seconds left on the clock, which does suck from what the time says. I know he only had a couple seconds left, but he was getting beaten down. He got kneed, he got dropped, and the way he fell, it looked like he was on his way out anyway, and he was just getting boom, 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 non-stop hits by Henry. It's a little disappointing, but you got to bend the knee to Triple C, baby. You got to bend the knee to Triple C. And then Triple C finishes by saying that he is going to be retiring from mixed martial arts. Retiring pretty young. He's 33? He retired young from wrestling. Was retiring young from mixed martial arts. I am sad to see him go if this is truly it. But I would love to see him fight one more time at 145 to see if he can get that belt, just so he could call himself the Quad C. And truthfully, that would take away anybody's argument. I mean, he, of